The Epstein files just got dropped. Everything we ever wanted, we've been asking, we've been begging, we've been saying, please, please, please release the files. Let everyone see what's going on. And so they said, fine, here we go. Here's part one. Here's our first drop of thousands of documents. And the only downside was that they were all redacted. Like entirely, like hundreds of pages in a row were pure black. And so many people have printed them out to show this. My understanding is they had teams working round the clock to get these files redacted in time for this release. Because you understand, the original plan was not to release anything. They said there weren't even any files. There were no files, there's nothing to release. And then because of the vote in the House, they were forced to release it. Now, what's interesting, and I think this is very interesting, this is what the law says. No record shall be withheld, delayed, or redacted on the basis of embarrassment, reputational harm, or political sensitivity, including to any government official, public figure, or foreign dignitary. And yet, we have a massive, massive amount of these files redacted. Now, they're gonna say it's because of an ongoing investigation or something, but it seems like it's likely to protect certain people, certain presidents maybe, from reputational harm or political sensitivity, especially because the only photos that were shown in this round of the fucking release are like of like Bill Clinton, Michael Jackson, Oprah. You know, it's like people that are safe for Trump to attack. Bill Gates. Everything else completely redacted, including, by the way, some photos. The thing that makes me think this is for political sensitivity is that some photos got uploaded as part of this release and then taken down really quickly right afterwards, including this photo was published and then removed from the website. Now you probably can't tell what this photo is, but this photo is a photo of Epstein's desk where he has a picture of himself with Donald Trump. And these were already published photos that you can see. So that makes it seem like information is being controlled for political purposes, which is again, expressly what the law does not allow. And by the way, not that it matters right in this second, but it could matter eventually. Whoever knowingly alters, destroys, mutilates, conceals, covers up, falsifies any record or document with the intent to impede, obstruct, or influence the proper administration of any matter shall be fined under this title, imprisoned not more than 20 years or both. This is a crime. What's happening is a crime. The order was for the full release of the files. Nobody is happy with this extremely sanitized, cut down, redacted version. The reason they did a part one, the Epstein files part one, which again is like 90% redacted, but the part one is because that's the amount they were able to get redacted in time. Instead of just dropping it all at once, they are parceling it out by the amount they can get redacted. So there's gonna be a part two they're working on redacting right now. Oh, I get it now. And it's fucking crazy because they said there were no files. Remember there was the big binder of the Epstein files, part one, we're gonna release it. And then there was like, actually, there's no files. And now it's comical to be given 55 pure black pages. It's not even, it's crazy, dude. It's fucking crazy. I was reading Reddit R Conservative today, as I do every day to get my opinions. But I was reading it and like, even the top comments on everything was like, this is not the full files. We want the full files. Give us the full files. Like nobody there was like, this is great, we're good. Of course not. I like this article headline. The most redacted administration ever. The Epstein files are here and they're too redacted to satisfy anyone.
Right, and this is what it looks like. I don't know if you can see. It's all black. It's just 100 pages of redaction.
Dude, it's so funny because if it's 100 pages of redaction, don't release it. Just don't even put it in there. Can they not just destroy the list? The thinking is that if you were to make materially illegal destruction of the list, that opens you up to future prosecution and problems. If you go the legal route and say, we have to redact these because of an ongoing investigation, then you're safe. You're playing within the rules. This is on the last page. What is this? Wait, excuse me? Is this real? This is like extremely damning. Photos of Trump? No, it's not photos of Trump. It's unredacted interviews that mention Trump. Okay, I'm going to show this. This is from justice.gov. Okay, fair warning. This is describing horrendous acts, right? So, what the hell, dude? This is an interview. My friend had sexual intercourse with Clinton, Prince Andrew, Richard Branson, sex tapes, et cetera, okay? Another friend was one of the many girls that had sexual relations with Donald Trump. Mr. Trump definitely seemed to have a thing for her and told me how it kept going on about her like her pert nipples. Donald Trump liked flicking and sucking her nipples until they were raw. This is insane. Here's the same document but redacted. Why would I want that? So they forgot to redact it or what? Oh my God, wait. This is what it looks like now. It literally, look, it cuts out that pedophile Trump. Like, that's fucking crazy. My friend had sexual intercourse with blank. Sexual relations with blank. Her casual friendship. This is Donald Trump. Donald Trump seemed to have a thing about her. Kept going about her nipples. Wait, that's fucking crazy. Wow, that's wild. I can't believe it's a nice find, chat. The only constant in this whole Epstein sordid story that would make sense to stop it from being released at all times is that the president has been pushing behind the scenes to not allow the full release. Nobody else has an incentive. Fucking Pam Bondi would have loved to release it. All right, maybe Donald Trump is a pedophile. Maybe he's a pedophile. Maybe he's in the Epstein files, and maybe he's trying to avoid justice by preventing their release. But I can tell you one thing that's damn true. He got inflation down to 2.7%. And according to a Harvard economist at Fox News, there's no other way to spin this but good news. The recent November CPI report finally is out. It was delayed, but they finally released it, and it came in under expectations. Wall Street expected 3.1% inflation. It came in as 2.7%. Now, it's still above the 2% target of the central bank, but it's a good positive direction. And so this is good news. And the only problem is that this one Harvard economist at Fox News was basically the only person in the entire economics profession who didn't notice that there was major flaws in the report. I think we should absolutely take the results with a grain of salt. And that was the nice person that said it. The other one was, take it with the entire salt shaker. So let's say September, okay? It's like plus 4% or whatever, okay? October, nobody worked. The BLS was shut down. So it's blank, it's question mark, okay? Then November, they were able to get data at the end of the month, basically post Black Friday. So when this is blank, what they did for this November report is they went back to October and they said it was 0. They filled it in at 0 for everything they couldn't get, actually both for October and November. So this naturally brought the average down. Despite when you look at actual specific products, you're seeing like electricity way up in price, meat and eggs way up in price, well above. Only thing that went down was dairy products by 1.6%. Food blank, food at home blank, energy blank, gasoline, new vehicles, used cars and trucks, blank, apparel, medical care, shelter, blank. So this is a pretty rancid report. Like, the market didn't trust it. US borrowing costs still rose. Jerome Powell didn't trust it. He said, take a skeptical eye. Bloomberg didn't trust it. November CPI report raises doubts about US inflation data. Economists skeptical of huge downshift in rental inflation. Again, because the data was unavailable, they just put it as 0, bro. It's like, that's crazy. You know, a huge component, like a massive component of this inflation coming in under mark is because of rental inflation, housing, shelter, basically. They marked it as very, very low, unchanged. And so it brought down the inflation for this month in terms of this report. However, my understanding is that, well, it's not 0. Rental inflation is coming down, as in like prices of hotels and prices of rent are dropping. Not everywhere, not all places, but they are dropping. And I do want to say that even in this crazy overstated report, like this is like the best possible outcome if you're trying to say like there's no inflation. We're still at 2.7%. Now that sounds relatively low, but that's still significantly above the goal, which is 2%. And it's supposed to be a long-term average of 2%, which means that if there's times where it's above 2%, there has to be times where it's below 2% to even out. It can't just be like way above and you finally get it down to 2.1 and you're good. Like that's not That's not what the central bank's goal is supposed to be. So we're still horrible. And people's lived experience is even worse, because if you look at specifics, things like beef roasts or coffee, which I don't buy any of, but as you can see, or ground beef, we're getting percents like 21%, 18%, 14.9%. These are massive increases that are well above how much your paycheck is increasing. So you are noticing, you're getting sticker shock on these prices as they keep rising. The price levels are already too high and they keep rising. I've hated this under Democratic administrations and I've hated this under Republican administrations, but this is egregious. The idea that you can put out a headline number and tell people, actually, you're fucking wrong. Actually, you're wrong. Things are great. Inflation is gone is horseshit. It's horseshit, dude. No one is buying it. The story of it is so direct, which is that a few months ago, the numbers were bad, as they should still be now, and Trump fired the head of the BLS. Then we went on shutdown. I don't think they're necessarily like being told change that number, like wipe that out and change it. What I'm saying is they don't have to for it to be egregiously wrong now, because the shutdown, they couldn't get any data. They are severely understaffed. They've had their leader fired by Trump for giving whatever, for what he said was bad data. The combination of all these things, plus political pressure, plus the fact that people think that when the BLS is doing inflation or jobs data, that they are like measuring something. But the only thing they're doing, by and large, is surveys. They do an absurd amount of surveys. Like for labor reports, they call up random people and say, hey, were you fired this week? And then they call up owners of companies and say, hey, have you laid people off? That is the actual methodology of the BLS labor report. Survey results have been getting worse and worse and worse because people don't do that anymore. People don't answer the phone. They don't respond to things. You're getting a biased sample. They're getting less data, less reliable data, fewer employees working, less funding. And so the data that's coming out of our country is getting worse and worse, is all I'm saying. And it's becoming more obvious, not just to like people that care about it politically. The real thing that I saw from this inflation report is tons of like hedge fund analysis, big bank reports, people that are like finance data for other finance professionals, people that only care about getting the right answer so they can make money off it. But like I said, you had to pair the good news with the bad. All right, so the Epsteine stuff was a bit of a bust. The inflation data is a bit of a bust, but guess fucking what?
In the fall, we will host the first ever Patriot Games, an unprecedented 4-day athletic event featuring the greatest high school athletes, one young man and one young woman from each state and territory. But I promise there will.
We're getting the Patriot Games! One man and one woman, these are teenagers, these are high schoolers, from every state, territory, district, you could call it, are going to compete in an athletic competition nationally televised at the White House. Now, everybody made the same joke. I mean, literally everybody. Everybody on Twitter, everyone on the media, everyone in chat has made the same joke about Hunger Games. If everything else were going good, I wouldn't care about this at all. Like, I don't care. Like, if you want to have American Ninja Warrior on the White House lawn or something, it's like, no, I don't think they're actually going to kill people. So I don't care. It's actually a big of a deal. But the problem with this on my end is that it's so bread and circuses coded. It's so like, look over here, distraction coded, as shit is just so bad around it. Nobody wants to hear about the American Hunger Games, Patriot Games athletics when all this is going on. He's also ignoring the Epsteine files and building an Arc de Trump. And I'm not kidding. Donald Trump wants to build an Arc de Trump in Washington, D.C. It's a real thing.
I put Vince in charge of the triumphal arc. We're building an arc like the Arc de Triomphe. It will be like the one in Paris, but to be honest with you, it blows it away. Blows it away in every way.
Okay, so he wants to build a triumphal arc, and you might say, well, that's a great construction project to benefit the American people. But if you ask him directly, like off the record in the White House,
what is this, Mr. President?
Thank you all. You come this way. Thank you.
For who? Yeah, no, I know where it is, but who's it for?
Thank you guys.
The Arc de Trump?
It's like, bro, I don't know what to say. We're having like serious economic problems, geopolitical problems. There's this pedophile ring people are talking about. I mean, he's a developer by trade. That's what he did for most of his life in New York. But he's spending a large portion of his time talking about and spending massive taxpayer money on construction projects, including this gigantic, gaudy, triumphal arc to Trump. And now he is trying to seize control of Washington, D.C.'s public golf courses in order to build some kind of new Trump golf course with public golf course. The Interior Department Solicitor's Office sent a letter to the National Park Service and the National Links Trust, who run these public works golf courses for the benefit of American citizens, and they said, you're in violation of your lease. You have to hand these over. However, the lease requires the government to give specific violations and give the operator time to fix them. They didn't do that. They didn't list any violations or outline any path to a situation. They're just saying, you're in violation, we get the golf courses. This woman, Gail Hazelwood, who's a National Park Service superintendent, she's talking about the golf courses, but it applies to everything. The reality is nothing is normal right now. Contracts, agreements, leases, literally nothing is done the way we would normally have done it. I thought it just summed it up, bro. None of this is normal. Whether it's the Epsteine stuff, whether it's the ARC, whether it's this fucking golf course stuff, whether it's anything, all right? Or even the BLS statistics. The Epstein file stuff, been embarrassing for him. There's been some public outcry from those on his side of the aisle. Obviously, Thomas Massey we talked about, Marjorie Taylor Greene we talked about. But then he fired back. He fired back and he took Marjorie Taylor Greene down a peg.
And then you have Marjorie Trader Brown, I call her, because green turns to brown under stress. So I call her Trader Brown, which I don't like doing because 2 words is too much. 2 out of 3. We're changing to Marjorie Taylor Greene. I'm going Marjorie Trader Brown, so I have to trade. And a lot of people don't understand 2 words is too much to change. I actually like Marjorie Taylor Brown better, but everyone says Marjorie Trader Greene is good, but they're all good. But what the hell happened to her? She.
Dude, the goat is washed. The goat is washed. And it's so funny with someone in the crowd waving a lower prices sign. The BLS jobs report also came out and the unemployment rate ticked up in that. The only reason our unemployment ticked up to 4.5% is because we're reducing the government workforce by numbers that have never been seen before. 100% of our new jobs are in the private sector. Now, I've already mentioned that we don't have any new job growth. So this line is useless. I could reduce unemployment to 2% overnight by hiring people into the federal government, even though those jobs are not necessary. I wish the fake news would report the 4.5% correctly. What I'm doing is the only way to make America great again. Okay. This is actually such an easily verifiable claim because we can look at the start of his term to now and how many government workforce jobs we've been lost and how many total jobs have been lost. Now, we have reduced the government workforce largely because of the shutdown. They're down like 200 to 300K. But we're down total jobs 900K. So this as a reason doesn't make sense because the extra fucking 600K jobs that are down are in the private sector where we have no new job growth. But what the fuck's the point in fact checking Trump? I didn't even mention this because it's such a small Trump detail. But you know how he like replaced Joe Biden's photo in the White House Hall of Presidents with an auto pen? He went back and he added plaques under all the presidents. And apparently like he wrote these or like helped with them. They all mention Trump. I'm not like the Joe Biden one says Sleepy Joe Biden was by far the worst president in American history. This is what it says under Joe Biden's photo in the White House. Nicknamed both, quote, sleepy and crooked, Joe Biden was dominated by his radical left handlers. But despite it all, President Trump would get reelected in a landslide and, quote, save America. They're written like fucking tweets from Trump. You guys know he hated Biden. Maybe this is the one. No, you go down the list. Go down to fucking Clinton. And it goes, in 2016, President Clinton's wife, Hillary, lost the presidency to President Donald J. Trump. That's his bio? That's President Bill Clinton's bio. Obama, Barack Hussein Obama, was the first black president, a community organizer, one-term senator, and one of the most divisive political figures in American history. As president, he passed the highly ineffective Unaffordable Care Act. His hand-picked successor, Hillary Rodham Clinton, would then lose the presidency to Donald J. Trump. He mentions beating Hillary Clinton in 2 separate presidential bios. But then, these are all presidents that were there like during his time, okay? They either competed against him or campaigned against him. You can go back to Ronald fucking Reagan. Where they talk about him winning the Cold War, transforming American politics. He was a fan of President Donald J. Trump long before President Trump's historic run for the White House. Likewise, President Trump was a fan of his. This is a fucking joke. I guess I got TDS, bro. I must have TDS.